Okay, so last video we left off, we had finished welding and grinding this plate just to make clearance for the throttles. We've got our two main throttles here. These have the arms where the actuators hook on. That's our puck, basically our actuator puck. So we want it in the center there and in the center of that line. So there's the throttle cable mounting, that's probably going to be offset about there somewhere. And then yeah, the idea is that as this turns, it opens this stuff. So today basically we're going to machine this. I need to make a ridge, I need to make two holes with thread for the bar to go in, then I need to machine a lip on the side here as well for the cable to run in. So a lip in there, so the cable's got to run in through there and have like a drilled hole to hook into. So yeah, I'm going to machine this now, and yeah, let's get into that process, and then we're going to start with the actuator arms and drilling this. Okay, and mounting it. So we got our puck, we're going to mark him here in the middle with our center punch. Right, cool. So that's our puck with our step. That's just to give it some clearance off of the plate. Okay, we're going to drill that guy there, drill him through the middle. I'm just going to put it on a bolt and nut for now, just to kind of keep it in place. We'll put in bearings and stuff later, but yeah, I want to prove the concept first before we invest money in all sorts of other things. So we're going to drill this quickly now, drill the plate, bolt this in place, and then drill and tap our threads and all that. Then we can figure out our arms. So yeah, let's go drill them.
My first imported part was for the white bin, ever. Otherwise, which was? My oil filter.
Oh, from BM.
That was my first, and that was 5 grand with shipping.
Not bad, not the worst.
Dude, I went down.
Okay, so we got our throttle connection here. So that works, but it works for like 75% throttle. So what I found, I'm going to have to move this ball joint back. So I'm going to have to make another plate here somewhere and move the ball joint back like that, so that it doesn't have to pull it kind of beyond. So that's about 90 degrees there, and then to get it to fully open, it's got to go down. Obviously there's nothing I can use to make it go down, so I'm thinking of cutting the ball joint off here and literally moving it to there, and then that should actually work fine. So yeah, and then we'll just extend this rod basically to fit over there, and yeah, see what happens. Since it's go get rid of these freaking green things. Right, got an LED light there. Alright, so we've moved the ball joint from there to there. Now we're getting full throttle, which is great. That's lovely. But what I find is there's a bit of binding there, so the angle's a bit hectic. So I think either I have to bend this bar, so there's a bit of a kink in the arm to stop the binding, or the other option is to move this here. But I'm worried that if I move it in, I suppose it's not a big deal if I move it in, but I just want to make sure that that arm also has clearance, the one that's going to come from this side. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do quickly is bend this arm a little bit and see if that weird There's like a bit of friction right there, which will become problematic. Right, yeah, so with a slight bend in the arm, the movement is a lot smoother. There's still a little bit of resistance, but not too bad. I think if they're all together and you know all the springs are working together, I think it'll be fine. But yeah, we can also put a throttle return spring on this, so I don't think that'll be an issue on there. Yeah, nice. So yeah, basically those two open like that, close. So yeah, it's very cool that they work. Obviously we've got to put some lock nuts on here. We're gonna have to figure out the angle of these bends maybe a little bit better, but yeah, for the most part that's going to be our mechanism. So now we've proved that it'll work. We get full throttle on the butterflies. So yeah, now we've got to figure out how to mount the cable, how to grind the groove in, how to mount the return springs. But yeah, that's the hard work done, is the design. Now it's just perfecting it.
This is the hole for the throttle cable. We've machined that edge in there, basically a groove and a guide, and then I just used the grinder plate or the round grinding disc basically to grind away that sharp edge so the cable's not sitting in like that and it lays nice and flat. So yeah, bit of machining there. This looks nice. Now we've got to machine the centers to put these bearings in here, so that is the next challenge. So we're going to get that in. I'm going to mount this on the lathe over there and try and work out how we're going to machine those things, because we're going to have to do this side first, and then yeah, but I might have to go to the big lathe next door because I don't think mine is going to be big enough to get this done.
Okay, so sort of an update. As you can see, we have a bit of a light, bit of a shop update there for you. We've got some nice hexagon lights in. These things make such a difference, man. It's like daylight in here now. Yeah, it's a bit noisy in the shop. We've got the compressor running, we've got all these lights redone, all the wiring redone. Thank you Dawes and his team. They came out, they helped us with all the wiring, fix everything. Yeah, bring everything up to code. I did it a while back when we moved in. I just patched things because I knew we were going to move machines around and stuff like that. But yeah, it was like a year later. I didn't get to anything, so I decided to call them in, come fix everything. They did a great job. They made the frames to hang the lights. There's steel frames holding them up, and there's steel cables. Everything's wired in. We got rid of the two horrible green fucking lights that used to drive us crazy. We got rid of those. So yeah, nice job, happy with that. And now we have some daylight. Now we can work on the Skyline again. So yeah, speaking of, we managed to eventually finish this thing. I had to go back and forth with this center bearing design. We've got some skateboard wheel bearings in there, and yeah, now we've got full throttle. Wow, we can actually see in there now. So yeah, full throttle, nothing binds, it's pretty good. We need to add some return springs, but yeah, it's doing the job. So we're going to take this apart. We need to put some lock nuts on these things. I'm going to just mark them basically where they're supposed to be. They're going to get lock nuts, then all of this stuff has to get lubricated. We have to add return springs, notch here for a return spring and hook it somewhere there, or vice versa, actually that way. And yeah, then we have to mount the throttle cable, get that in. So yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight.
Okay, wow, these lights really make a huge difference at night. Yo, well, it's not night, I mean it's late afternoon, but it's basically dark. And yeah, so after a lot of crazy things and different ideas, it looks like we finally got our system working. So there, so we get full throttle, close, full throttle, close. I'm yet to use the throttle pedal, which I'm dying to try. So let's get my leg in here. Oh, it's a bit tight. Alright, throttle. Oh, it feels pretty good actually. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. So I have to lubricate everything and whatnot, but I'm very happy with that. Jeez, that is like a month's worth of work to get that, to do that properly. So yeah, obviously I'm not an engineer. I do this kind of as we go. If this was a customer's car, I'd probably have all of this CNC'd, engineered, scanned. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to build it by hand and see what it does. But yeah, now we got to get all the other throttles on and link everything up and then test it again. And then once that's done, take everything down again, all the way down to the bottom there. You see, we've got to clean up all these holes from the welding, get Allen key bolts or Allen cap bolts, and basically seal that, put everything back together, and then we're kind of done. The last headache is the vacuum pump, which I need to make a plan with just because of the oil outlet. I've just put a plate on it to blanket for now, but there's a little oil supply to that vacuum pump, and I'm worried if I leave it as is, it's going to cause problems, or it's going to force oil out of the plate. So either I have to put in a grub screw or maybe just fit the vacuum pump back, one of the two, but we'll get there, So yeah, let's try the flick thing, and then hopefully the throttles go back on. What a mission. Try again, one more. Give us actuation there. Hey, look at that. Awesome. Okay, so day 1000 on the Skyline. I don't know how long this is taking, but yeah, we tried out our little sandblaster unit there. It actually worked pretty well, gave the aluminium like a frosted look. So I had some old blue spray paint lying around that I wanted to finish. I had some inspiration from the blue on the Civic. I really like this color. I just wish it was more, we had more metallic in it, like, or some flake. Maybe we'll add some flake. But anyway, so yeah, we basically got this all done. We got it sandblasted, got all the sharp edges out of it on the intake. We are now gonna lift all the tape. Finally, it's time for final assembly. Yeah, let's get this thing buttoned up. We're gonna get everything back together, get the throttles on, basically have it finally assembled. We made up the little tie rod ends. I just basically cut them, widened them. It was a quick job, I didn't bother filming that. But yeah, we're gonna get the car back on the lift it up, finish that. I'll show you the tie rod ends and stuff at the bottom. We'll do a quick check underneath the car, just make sure everything's right underneath. Then do all the checks on top. We need to mount the battery properly. And then yeah, just go through the car, make sure there's nothing inside that doesn't have to be there. You know, get it ready basically to go to dyno. And then also we need to cut the massive hole in the bonnet for these things. I don't know, I don't actually know how we're going to do that without creating a huge mess or cutting a hole too big. That's actually what I'm quite scared of. And then yeah, another thing we got was these air filters for the trumpets. These are pretty cool. These are 100mm long. We're just gonna have to trim this out to the edge here because obviously our trumpets are wider than normal. But yeah, here's all the throttle bodies. Everything's got to get cleaned up. I was considering sandblasting these, but I don't actually know if that's a good idea because of all the air jets and stuff like that. I don't really want things getting in there. I suppose we could plug everything, but it's going to be a nightmare. But yeah, or what we could do is just tape that up, tape this up, and spray the outside of it. Maybe we'll do that. We'll have to tape this up as well. But yeah, so let's get into final assembly on the Skyline. Everything we've done so far seems to be alright. We've got the power steering lines hooked up. We got the bottle in. The return lines hooked up. Most of the wiring is done to get it to crank. All this stuff is done. You know, we've tested everything. It seems to be okay. Slight concern with the brake booster thing delete, but we'll test that and see how it goes. We might have to take out that middle section and bolt it straight to so the intake's all bolted on. Here's the new hardware, Allen cap screws. I think it's 8mm screws, it's pretty good. Alright, so we've got our little throttle body here. I've taped it up. I need to tape up that vacuum port, and then yeah, I don't think I need to tape up anything else. We'll see how well the tape holds up in the sandblaster. We're going to use that thing quickly. And yeah, let me just put this down. Take this guy up here. So I'm going to try avoid getting sand wherever it doesn't need to be. Yeah, I'll try not to spray too much in there and in there, you know, just to make sure nothing is getting damaged in the moving parts. But yeah, the inner sides we'll clean with chemical. So here's the sandblaster. You can see anything there. Here's the chamber. Got the gun in there. That guy there. Right. Now, I guess now we can just start blasting. I don't know how well we can see here. So rest that nicely. Yeah, let's do something like that. Okay. It's a little hazy because obviously there's dust in there. Yeah, let's blast him. We'll try not to hit the gloves. Obviously you'll blow holes in the gloves really quickly. Yeah, that's one done. Let's try and get as much of the sand as we can out. Shake it. Cool, see what it looks like. So as you can get at Eidendorf, obviously even with the big compressor there, although that is quite old, even with the big 500 liter compressor, it still needs to gas up. So yeah, let's see. Open up this slowly because there's a lot of dust. We don't want to get too much out of there. Right, open up again. So there we go, shot blasted. Obviously, like I said, I didn't want to I didn't want to spray it too much. I don't want to get sand kind of clogged in everything. But if you do a side-by-side comparison, here's an unblasted one. So yeah, basically, you know, I could have gone longer and got a more like a better finish, but yeah, basically that's pretty clean compared to the old ones. So yeah, it's got to do that another 8 times. So fun. Well, that's all our throttle bodies shot blasted, everything's clean, there's no more rust on anything. So yeah, now we got to just paint all these levers, basically, because that's all raw metal now, so that's all going to need to be painted so it doesn't rust. And then yeah, we can clean these up, clean them individually and bolt them on there for the last time. Alright everybody, that is the throttle system in and done. Oh, that was quite a lot of work. Get all this finished. Obviously the filters kind of take away some of the aggressiveness of the trumpets, but you know, we'd rather have them on, rather be safe than dust and shit and damage the engine. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Mechanisms hidden down there, but I mean, seems to be working. Obviously, you know, once they get the engine fired up, we'll have to take the filters off and synchronize all the throttles. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's finished. Hard work's done. Nice, man. It looks good. It looks good. Right, so last bit now. Tackle this. I did make a plate already for this, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to put the vacuum pump back or make some kind of blank off, but we have to get to that. But yeah, another day done, another part of the Skyline finished.